SPELLEMENTs are one of the biggest updates to come to Wizard101 in a long time. They affect the game in many different ways and affect your spells in many different ways. Now, what is the quickest way to get them, and how long will it take you? Find out on this episode of Lost Growth.
It's showtime!
There's many different methods to get SPELLEMENTs quickly in Wizard101. There's a lot of different methods that people have come up with for both spiritual and elemental. If you guys saw my elemental video, I did show how you can get elemental SPELLEMENTs the absolute quickest, and ever since then I've come up with a kind of math formula to find out the quickest you can possibly get SPELLEMENTs of either the elemental or spiritual caliber. Now, the quickest way, if you're either all maxes or almost all maxes, is definitely Zarathax. Credit to my friend Matthew, who's done a shit ton of SPELLEMENT farming. It will actually take you, on average, about 36 hours to get every single SPELLEMENT max in Wizard101. We know this because we spent 36 hours getting tier 2 to 6 maxed. Now, let me get this clear. I completely forgot to mention this. Actually, tier 2 to 6, maxing them will take about 38 hours on average. Now, tier 1 is usually ignored simply because of the reason that tier 1 doesn't really have any spells that are really needed. For example, the only real one that actually makes a big impact on the game is Imp, because it sets up for Centaur combos in PvP. But if you're just a random PvE Andy, like, you don't really need Imp at all, so to speak. And I mean, even Scarab is decent, but then again, you don't really need it. So, overall, that's pretty much the quickest you can get it. Now, if you guys saw my elemental video, you'll notice that I did not mention the exact amount of hours it takes you to get it maxed, but on average, you'll get between 60 to 18 hours to max it in the elemental fight, or against Boris Blackrock, simply because you don't have to deal with a sigil. The problem with Zarathax is having to deal with the sigil, which adds quite a few extra hours onto it. So essentially, you're going to have to be spending 16 hours farming one of these bosses to get tier 2 to 6 max. So, and then it'll be 38 for Zarathax. So, your best bet is if, for example, you have a max fire and storm and, like, I don't know, ice. You probably should just farm Boris Blackrock and then eventually go back and get the spiritual SPELLEMENTs in the future. And then, you know, of course, if you're the opposite and you have all the spirit schools max, you should go, you know, max all the spirit schools at a certain boss. Now, there's a lot of different bosses to fight for spiritual SPELLEMENTs, which I'll probably cut in somewhere to show you guys. But right now, Zarathax is currently the most efficient way to get max SPELLEMENTs. Now, here's the strategy that I'll explain to you guys. So, if you're going to try to max your SPELLEMENTs, you're going to go in and you're going to have a max wizard help you, right? So, I'm just going to blade. And usually, I'd have my account that I'd want to have max SPELLEMENTs on right here. So, you're going to want to go in with a max wizard who's going to help you kill it. And then you're going to want to go in with the character you want to get SPELLEMENTs for. The max characters cannot get SPELLEMENTs as they are level locked. Due to them trying to level lock and not make it super accessible to max wizards, which is, I guess, kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like I'm gonna fail pip. That's kind of unfortunate. But yeah. So basically, that's what they did. So what you want to do is you want to go in and you want to fight Jade Oni on your noob character. You're gonna want to get the Oni Slayer badge, right? Now I do want to put a forewarning here. I have had some people not have success with it. For example, Tian Toshin commented. I actually fail pipped again. Tian Toshin commented on my video and said that she was having problems with it. But I'm not sure if she was doing something wrong, or maybe like her character was glitched or something. I have no idea. So try at your own advisory, but for me, almost everybody I've told about this strategy, it has worked for. So I highly recommend you try it out if you're trying to get max SPELLEMENTs and trying to PvP with them. So overall, I'm just going to show you guys what happens if you're on a max wizard and kill. But ultimately, if you are on a low-level wizard, you will get the SPELLEMENTs in this. I don't really care enough to log on a low-level wizard or go on my low-level wizard and get help. But basically, yeah, you're just going to get one buff up or whatever you need to do to kill him, exit, go back in the sigil. So obviously, like I said, I get no SPELLEMENTs from that. But if you're on a low level, you will get 14 SPELLEMENTs each run on average. So yeah. And then the same deal with Boris Blackrock and a few different bosses that drop spiritual SPELLEMENTs, which I'll show on screen. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So just one little recap for you guys. On average, if you farm Boris or one of the other bosses, it will take you about 60 to 18 hours to get max tier 2 to 6. I did this with, you know, the math that I was using previously. So yeah, tier 2 to 6 on elementals, and probably tier 3 on balance if you farm Boris. And then if you go and farm spiritual SPELLEMENTs, you will probably get farming the spiritual spellements in order to get two or three tiers on your balance, and also max tier 2 to 6 on your spiritual schools. So overall, this is just kind of some math I wanted to plug in for you guys, for those who are saying and asking how repetitive it is compared to Dragoon. Hopefully this answered some question for you guys. Hopefully this helped you guys farm it out. Hopefully this gave you guys some encouragement, because I mean, it isn't as bad as Dragoon, honestly, considering the impact it makes on PvP. Just the impact that certain spells might have, like for example Triton or Kraken, or you know, some of the myth spellements and etc. Make it really worth it in my opinion. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.
Bye.